Hey, you guys. Welcome to my Millionaires Bits and Pieces this Wednesday morning. I hope you guys are doing well. This is Myra, y'all, your host of my Millionaires Bits and Pieces. I just give God the glory, honor, and praise and thank Him for all that He's doing in the earth and through all of us. But before we jump into the topic today, which is communications, I typically come on on Monday after the prayer line to talk about the topic. But I'm here today and it's on communications. Don't forget about the prayer line, you guys. It's every Monday from 6 a.m. to 6:30. And the conference call number is 605-313-5462. And that is the code also to get in 7677026. So please, you guys, join us on Mondays for the prayer line and be blessed by God and just hear what God in this hour in this moment. So we just want to give God the glory, honor, and praise. The topic which was on this Monday, which God just kept talking about last week, was communication. Communication is so important in everything that we do, whether in a relationship, dating, and if we really pay attention, God is always communicating to us throughout the Bible. He's talking. He's giving us instructions. He's telling us what happened. He's telling us telling us what's happening now. Like he don't miss a beat. Okay. So communication is so important, but most of all, communicating with him, just knowing where his heart is and knowing where he's working, communicating with him is one of the most important things, the vital things. And he's wanting to hear from us more. We're on the phone all day talking back and forth to somebody, or we're at work, we're constantly talking, whether it's giving customer service, whether it's talking to our colleagues. It is communication, right? So communication is the imparting or exchange of information or news. So we're constantly getting exchanges of information, even when we're watching TV, when we're watching the social media, when we're watching or listening to the radio, we're getting information. It's information that is imparted into our minds and into our ears and into our hearts. Okay, it's just how we receive it and what kind of ground it falls on. Okay, so we're always communicating. And the example that he brought to me was Abraham, you guys, when Abraham prayed for Sodom and Gomorrah in Genesis, the 18th chapters, 16 through 32, he prayed to God about saving the righteous. If you find 50 in there, will you destroy the righteous with the wicked? Or, he went back and forth with God. And in order to do that, you guys, we have to take a minute to pause, right? In the middle of our prayer, we have to say, Lord, will thou destroy the 50 righteous? If I find 50 righteous in there with the wicked, will you destroy it and destroy the wicked with them? Or will you pre-adventure save them, right? So Abraham is talking to God, seating, and it looks like a conversation. He takes a minute and he pauses, and the Lord is able to answer him and say, no, if I find 50, I will not destroy. Abraham continued on. If you find 5 less than the 50, if you find 45, will you destroy the righteous with the wicked? And he had to take a minute and pause. So the example here is praying. Take a pause, listen, get a response, have a pen and a paper there and write down the response, and then go at it again. So he's really wanting like an interaction, an open dialogue with us where we're talking back and forth with him, like Abraham did right here in Genesis 18 starting. I'm going to start at number 20. It says, and the Lord said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because there is sin, and because of their sin is very grievous, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it which is come unto me, and if not, I will know. And the men turned their faces from thence and went toward Sodom. And Abraham stood yet before the Lord. And Abraham drew near and said, Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Pre-adventure, there be 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein? Be that be far from thee to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked that be far from thee. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? He's asking him a question. He's talking to him, you guys. So he's asking this question, but the thing we really want to pay attention to is Abraham drew near to him. He stood before the Lord and he drew near to him. And he stayed there. And he stayed there until he was finished, until he got all the way down to 10. And what I love about this example is it says, number 33, it says, no, I'm going to do number 32 and 33. And it says, and he said, Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak yet but this once. Pre-adventure 10 be found there. And he said, I will not destroy if there be 10. And the Lord went his way as soon as he had left communing with Abraham, and Abraham returned unto his place. So Abraham stayed there praying, and he did not move until the Lord went his way. And when the Lord finished communing, is when Abraham went to his place. Now, the other question is, do we stop too early? Do we not? Do we move out of the place where the Lord is and lay down and go back to sleep before the Lord? Do we move out of our seat when the Lord is talking because we're anxious, or we get distracted and we move out of our seat before the Lord is finished? But here, Abraham stayed there until the Lord finished communing and he went his way. And then Abraham, this is like three things that we really need to pay attention to. Is number one, standing before the Lord, him. Number two is praying, stopping for a minute, listening, and writing down what the Lord is saying to you. Pray again. Stop, listen to what the Lord is saying to you, and write it down. Pray again and stay there. Number three is stay there until the Lord is finished. Okay. So he really wants us to talk to him. He really wants us to have a conversation with him until he hang the phone up, right? It's not over until somebody hang up the phone. We just say, okay, that's it, goodbye. He didn't even have to say anything. He just went his way. And typically I have a tendency to just do that. Just okay, and I'm finished. If I'm assuming the conversation is done. Okay. So the Lord was finished communing and he went his way. So Abraham then went to his place after the Lord went his way. And then let's not forget about Moses, who prayed for the Israelites as well and asked the Lord to repent of his anger. And then the Lord repented of the thought that he had against the Israelites. Okay. So he repented of a thought. So do you ever remind the Lord of what he promised? Moses reminded the Lord of what he promised the people and the fathers, Abraham, Isaac. He said, you said this. This is what you said, Lord. So Moses reminded him of what he said. So he really wants to hear from us. He really wants to have an open dialogue. He wants us to communicate constantly with him. And that goes to 1 Thessalonians 5:17. And it says, pray without ceasing. Pray without ceasing. That means we're constantly talking to the Lord. That's our way of communing and talking and having an open line of conversation with him. So that is the topic of today, to remind us to pray, pause. Don't just run through from topic to topic to topic to topic without taking a break to listen. Break it up. And I'm beginning to put this in practice, and one of the things that the Lord had told me to do was to slow down. I can pray I'll just be rushing, like I'm just trying to hurry up and get it done. And he told me one morning, he was like, Slow down. Take your time. Give me a minute to speak through me because I'm going so fast. So one of the things that I am working on and continue to grow in is slowing down, taking my time so that he can work through me. And that is not the flesh, but it's the spirit of God. But you guys, that is the topic of today: communication. Listen, God really wants us to communicate. He wants to talk to him constantly. So that means we have to pray constantly. And we can just, while we're driving, we at work, having a conversation in our hearts with the Lord. But He wants us to constantly talk to Him. It needs to be a dialogue back and forth where we're sending and receiving, sending and receiving. You're sending a transmission and then you're receiving information. You're sending a message and you receive a message. So I encourage us to just take a moment to listen, pray again, listen, but don't move until he move. Stay there until he move. Don't let up until he lets up. Up today from bits and pieces, it's communication. It is very, very, very important, and this is an area that I continue to grow in. So listen, y'all. Thank you for tuning in to Bits and Pieces. I hope you guys are doing well today. Take a minute, spend time with the Lord. Take 30, 40 minutes, like, but break it up, like break it up throughout the day and just talk to him. Open dialogue with the Lord. Have a blessed day.